I be on the next only. I am fresh to death, just call the coroner. I'm a native champ, you just a foreigner. Is that all you got? Come on, you boring us. Hey, looking for the champ, we on the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to East versus West 12. Brought to you by ESN in association with the BM School. And we are moving on to an incredibly important matchup in the lightweight division here on the right arm. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our athletes. They are making their way to the table now, starting with this man. He is widely recognized as one of the most powerful lightweights in the world right now, and as a multiple national champion, European champion and world champion, returning to East versus West. Welcome, ARTUR Makarov!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the stage here in Istanbul. What an amazing athlete we have for you. ARTUR Makarov, an incredible battles with the great Engin Terzi you have seen in the past. I felt ARTUR was super respectful to Engin and urged him at the press conference to be a little more aggressive, and he assured me that he will in fact be taking home this lightweight championship belt, and we will see. The champ is in the house. ARTUR, what an amazing #1 contender. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Get your popcorn out. It is about to go down.
Ladies and gentlemen, now welcome his opponent to the stage. This man is widely regarded as one of the greatest technical lightweight arm wrestlers ever to do it. He is a multiple and reigning Lithuanian national champion, a multiple EAF national champion, and he is also a multiple WAF champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the defending East versus West World Lightweight Champion, Moriarty MINDAUGAS TARASAITIS!
Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute crowd pleaser. One of the most veteran pullers here at East vs. West. It is my 5th or 6th time here in the announcer booth, and each time MINDAUGAS TARASAITIS has been on the card. I watched him systematically break down Daniel, the former lightweight champion, the last time we were here in Istanbul. We've said it before, every match he will most likely be the power underdog, but make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at a very polished arm wrestling savant in MINDAUGAS TARASAITIS. AG pullers. Let's see from the silhouette if that is in fact the situation today. Here we go. No one knows how to work the crowd as well as MINDAUGAS TARASAITIS. What an absolute treat, ladies and gentlemen, it is. And you can hear the crowd responding. Let's see if ARTUR has anything. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, our sport, even though it is old to us, you must know that this level of our sport is still in infancy. It is very young in age. There are times where the champ will be what we think is absolutely unbeatable, and we will see him maybe run into someone like Arthur Makarov that you cannot believe the level is this high. Watch from the start. Mindaugis looks like he's playing games with that hand and wrist already.
Nothing to see on the first one there, guys, but really calm. Makarov, huge dominant hand. You would have to say that if the match turns into a war, the opportunity for adjustment is probably better for Mindaugas TARASAITIS. Power. Raw red line top end favors Makarov.
Don't move. Go!
We go to the straps.
Hold on.
World champion in the red shirt. Makarov to challenge it in blue. We've seen a real evolution, I would say, in Mindaugas TARASAITIS throughout this last few outings, particularly when he took the title from Daniel Prokopchuk.
No doubt, and one of the things that I've been drawn to whenever we see the silhouette, we see the size. Look at the technical prowess of right there. If you're watching arm wrestling right before that referee put his hands, you can see Mindaugis has made his two fingers almost one finger in making sure that that index finger is kind of lost underneath that middle finger. That then allows him to stick all of that meat. Look at how much of his hand is above the thumb pad of Arthur. Absolute clinic when it comes to the sport of arm wrestling. Not only is he bigger, just from a silhouette standpoint, his hand looks massively controlling from where I'm at now. And there's no way Arthur has a thumb knuckle anywhere near sight right now.
He's massively powerful, but technical.
Не пойдет, не пойдет. Нет, нет. Не пойдет. Не... That's it, boys. That's it. That's it. Oh, yeah. That's it. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, when you shake Arthur's hand, you see an awkward hand there. The awkward hand, to me, is not an advantage here. With, I tell you, boy, every time I'm around this guy, he becomes a bigger hero in the sport of arm wrestling. Mindaugis is an absolute stud.
And he's able to apply that in arm wrestling matches. And he's starting to do it again. Expose the hand of Arthur Makarov horribly for a start. Can he do it again to get some real fatigue?
No. One warning.
I'm amazed that Arthur is allowing the setup here. There's his thumb knuckles gone. Mindaugis is so amazing at the start. And here's the level of arm strength. Arthur has an abnormal setup. If you look at his wrist from wrist to elbow, you can see a little mutant kind of in there. The dominating start there, it just goes to show you that if you're not careful, the lane will require horsepower. The horsepower is in the blue jersey today. Let's see if, and we've seen it in the past, the absolute killer setup from Mindaugis is usually enough, if not at the start. There you see such domination early, and Arthur able to kind of shut those angles and leverage down. Let's see if he got the grip. You start thinking about, if the match is close, what side of the table are you on? Are you able to take advantage of the strap advantage? Sometimes in these 3-round bouts, that round would be so important. Taking a loss, Neil, on the good side of the table with what is proposed, the good side of the strap.
Yes.
If this match is only going 3 rounds, you could see to where that could be a potential problem here in round 2. The fact that this match has to go to round 5, not as nearly as bad as it seems. However, you would like to see a really good fight, if not a win from Mindaugas here in round 2. If not, you're looking at round 3, down 0-2, and supposedly having the bad side of the strap.
I need to rest. He will never
Run over, and yet he then managed to join up his arm wrestling and really put the moves down. I'm hoping that he can show us some of that today. Makarov will want this to be an ugly match. He'll want this to happen in a form box. Keep it really tight, make it about arm strength, and get Tarasaitis palm up as early as he can. Disengage the hand and wrist, disengage the pronator. He needs to refocus here, the champion. It's the man in the red shirt from Lithuania, Mindaugas Tarasaitis Moriarty. He always has a master plan. Can he put it to good effect tonight, or will he be run over by the more powerful man in the blue shirt?
Yeah, now we're going to the strap here in round 2. We saw a lot of respect there in round 1. They slipped right away. Round 2, if Mindaugas would have been in control, you're going to start to see Arthur needing the straps way more than Mindaugas at this point. If we can get a win, Mindaugas will start to make it harder and harder, as Fia did on even getting to the strap there.
Concerningly for Tarasaitis, he got a couple of jump starts in there and didn't manage to get one. Oh, missed that completely. Terrible miss time there. He almost went stopped and then tried to go down. By the time he did, Arthur Makarov, who's now in a resting position, was already dug really deep. Mindaugas Tarasaitis trying to put some bullets into Makarov. He needs to be careful, because by doing so, he could tire out his own back and destroy his game plan. Very, very big win that one for the challenger. Huge win.
Definitely the story of the day is that Arthur Makarov is a super tight. Do you see how far Mindaugas is from hand to shoulder once Arthur is in there nice and tight? Not a great start. Definitely a daunting task ahead of the champ here. Now let's put it out here. If you want to become an absolute hero to this audience, and it's a big audience, Neil. I just walked out on the balcony. If this is all set up for Mindaugas to become the greatest human being here, if somehow. But the more you watch the match, the more it's clear that that belt is about to change hands here tonight, Neil Pickup. And I know he's your boy. I know it's hard for you to I know this is setting hard with you. But the truth is you're down 2-0 and you're about to get the bad side of the table. You have to go in the strap because you can't afford not to continue the pressure. This is all looking like Arthur is setting up to not only have an amazing debut here, but to leave with the lightweight championship belt.
It's certainly looking like a very difficult task at the moment for Tarasaitis, the champion. down 2-0, but more concerningly, he's the guy that's done more work at this stage. And more concerningly than that, Artur Makarov did very little in those first 2 rounds. It was a dream start for Makarov. Once that strap was applied and he found the resting spot, he managed to drive that elbow forward, make it more around structure. And the big problem there for Mindaugas, as I said earlier, is that he's staying on the brack. He's got one thing to do, and that is to try to hold his pronation and top roll the hand of Makarov. He's failed to do it on 2 occasions, and he's done a lot of work needlessly. He needs to get his game together now. Opportunity knocks here, Travis, because he's on the good side of the strap. It is a 7-rounder. And the thing about his style of arm wrestling, if, and it is a big if, he can expose the hand and wrist of the challenger, you do feel like a great deal of damage would be done in that area, and Mindaugas would be able to capitalize on it time and time again. We saw it against Prokopchuk. Could we see it tonight against Makarov?
And he's looking for to spend enough time on the winning side that will create a situation just like we seen earlier with Petro. With Petro, there was a situation where if you can even make the win cause so much damage in your opponent. But as of right now, not only has ARTUR been dominant, but he's really been unmatched. He hasn't had his hand, barring that first match where he spent some time there at 10 o'clock. But even then, left to right, he was on his side of the table. He has a unique ability with that elbow being far away from his body at the beginning for it to get tight to his side immediately. And we've seen in the past with Mindaugas that even though he was losing rounds, we could see a sense of progression, an ability to make it look harder each time. So far, the round 2 match looked a little easier than round 1 here. This is a huge uphill battle and one that may just be too much for Mindaugas.
Mindaugas mistimed the start in that second round very badly. He cannot afford to do that again. Needs to be really on his guns now. It was a lot better false start.
And I know from experience, this referee is hard to read, Neil. I don't know if you can draw a conclusion the last time that I was around this guy, but there was a Ukrainian on the other side.
On the start, but once again, Makarov has done damage, serious damage to the brack, to the arm of TARASAITIS. And I'll tell you what, Mindaugas looks like his arm is gassing badly there, mate. That was a slow, concise, but very, very authoritative win from Artur Makarov, and the challenger is in fantastic shape right here.
No doubt. And if we're looking for a glimmer of hope, there was a little bit of attack panic there at the end. Just a tiny bit. I know from the naked eye it could look very dominant, which, listen, you're not crazy for thinking that Arthur's in control of this match. I can just tell you that he tried to end that thing a little smoother than Mindaugas allowed. Down 3-2, now on the bad side of the strap, from what I believe. This looks like not only is it only wishful thinking that, but now he's just got to try to battle for some sort of showing here to know that even in defeat, you are going to see this out to the end. We need a false start. We definitely need for Mindaugas, even though, I mean, he's been as high as you can get, right? I mean, his hand is up in there. There's no doubt. He needs to exaggerate it even more. Maybe we could get a little interference from the referee to just let us know that you are definitely trying your best, but it's going to take a little bit more. And listen, all this talk about Mindaugas being this, being that, here, there's a superstar maybe right on the other side of the stage, and his name is ARTUR, and he is an absolute beast. And now about to not only take the belt, but take it in maybe a 4-0 sweep, absolute convincing fashion. And with this guy taking care of Mindaugas in this fashion, you got to only assume that not only is ARTUR here, but he's maybe here to take over this class.
The pedigree of Artur Makarov absolutely beyond question. This is a guy we've seen many times in battles, genuine battles with Alan Zulayev. He a number of times, has looked like he was good for the win against Ulayev. Against Tarasaitis, the position of Tarasaitis on the hand was amazing. But it's still exactly where Makarov wanted it to be. Makarov smart there, sucking his thumb back. The referee not reacting to it and allowing Mindaugas to get away with a lot on the hand. Makarov not reacting there because he knows exactly where this is going. And he's much more concerned about the lower hand in the start of the match. What he's going to try to do is, and interestingly again, we said it earlier with Ibrahim Sagov and Sandra Shedis, that position is not good for Mindaugas. It's allowing Artur Makarov to get his spot really well. And if you look, Makarov is driven onto the left side, and what he's going to do is bump to the side hard and then drive that elbow really far forward and wind it around. Half moon angle when the match stops, and that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the pronator of Mindaugas Tarasaitis.
And just so we're clear, there's no doubt that, you know, Mindaugas is an outstanding athlete, but doesn't possess the tools like Sandras to leave it all in the hook. There's no reason. Yeah, he's got to stay outside. He's got to be a little more convincing from the start. That's a little better.
A little more purchase on the hand and wrist, and this could be a lifeline for him. If he can crack that wrist back, the game changes immeasurably.
Remember the panic at the end of the last match. If that is attempted now, being this far from the pin, there could be a problem, and I just felt that.
You can see it there kicking in, and Makarov needs to finish here because his hand and wrist will be gassing badly. And this is a very interesting pivotal match, and he finishes it. That was well timed. It's an elbow foul. An elbow foul caught, my word. Talk about leave it till the ragged edge. Ignore the score there, ladies and gentlemen. It will stay at 3 for the time being, and wow, nail-biting stuff here.
If you couldn't see it, Neil, if you couldn't see it in round 3, there was a little panic there at the end, and he was able to get the win. We saw that panic upgraded, right? If there's a level 3 tornado, hurricane, that was a level 6. That was an absolute elbow shaking, jaw shaking, elbow coming off the back. Absolute panic move from Artur Makarov. Listen, even though it's 3-0, even though we've spent all the time with Mindaugas less than 2 inches from the pad the whole day, I am telling you now, Neil, there's an out. There is a possible out. After 20 minutes into this show in absolute domination, there is an opportunity here for Mindaugas to absolutely blow this room up.
There really is. Opportunity knocks hard on the door of Mindaugas. Moriarty, Tarasaitis in the red shirt, the defending champion of the lightweight division. East versus West 12, brought to you by ESN, the Beard Struggle, and Gold Star Coffee. We may be about to see something dramatic. Watch the wrist of Artur Makarov. If that breaks back, we have ourselves an arm wrestling match. Interestingly now, we've seen the champion remain on the one muscle group throughout this match, and he's taxed it hard. We've seen Artur Makarov have dominance early, but now there are some chinks of daylight because that hand is beginning to gas. And if the wrist goes back, Tarasaitis is alive along goal.
Watch the stoppage. Is it at 10 o'clock or is it at 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock is too low. Stop.
Oh, no, here we go. Massive drive from Tarasaitis, but he's not got anywhere near as good a position as he'd, palm up. And this is bad for the Lithuanian. Really bad. Makarov has targeted and it will take that pin. Makarov with the win. As soon as the pronator was lost, it's game over for the Lithuanian. Some days you nail it, some days it nails you.
So amazing to watch the professionals do their work. No doubt, if we're watching the person, we're only watching the aggressor. We're seeing Mindaugas trying his best to work the hand. We saw some panic, but in the end, it shows there's such a slight adjustments that can be made. There is no doubt. Once again, I told you, the belts today for the men. There are 4 of them up for grabs. I do not believe nor one of them is safe. My prediction is that these belts would change hands 3 times tonight. This is the first one, and it will change hands. A king is born here, the king of the lightweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, make some noise for ARTUR Makarov. What an absolute great showing. Dominance. If you're not a savant of arm wrestling, this is a 4-0 sweep, and I'm not going to argue with you. However, if you know arm wrestling, MINDAUGAS, TARASAITIS, what an absolute tremendous champion that represented the lightweight class very proudly. But there's a new king in town.
I'm here with your new East versus West lightweight world champion, ARTUR Makarov. Belt presented by Kirill Stanichev. Как себя чувствуешь сейчас? How do you feel?
Чувствую идеально. Если честно, не думал, что все вот так вот получится. Миндаугас очень хорошо набрал и безумно выносливый. В какой-то момент я потерял веру. Господь Бог мне помог.
He said, I feel amazing. Mindaugas is definitely has gotten stronger, has great endurance. I didn't believe that this will happen, but it happened with help of God. Сейчас ты чемпион, ты должен защитить свой титул. Видишь себе хорошего соперника. So now you're the champion, you have to defend your title. Do you see yourself a good opponent you want to pull?
В моем весе есть также Даниэль Прокопчук. Я давно с ним не боролся. Ну, я не знаю, что Энген предложит. Энген, спасибо тебе, что пригласил меня сюда. И теперь я с поясом. Спасибо.
He said, in my way, there's Daniel Prokopchuk. Haven't had a match with him in a long time. But whoever Engin thinks that's the match for me, I want to thank him for bringing me here and letting me to have an opportunity to have the belt. And now he has the belt. Your new champion, ARTUR Makarov.